Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And again, want to extend our greetings to our friends, the confirmation class at Clarkston United Methodist. Welcome. It's so good to have you guys here. And one of my favorite traditions that we have in my family is part of our Passover Sedarim. So many of you who have studied with me before or on Pesach know this already, but for those who don't, here's the Cliff Notes version of our tradition. So every year for at least one Seder, we use a tablecloth that I've had for a long time on our table. When we get to the plagues in the Seder, we do the traditional dipping of our fingers in the wine and putting the droplets on our plates or on our napkins. But after the plagues have been read, we also go around after that last drop and we say either out loud or to ourselves a personal plague, an individual hardship, a struggle, or a significant mistake from the past year. And then we do the exact same thing. We dip our fingers in the wine, but this time we put it directly on the tablecloth. And so, as you can probably imagine, after so many years, and especially after some Sedarim where we've had dozens of people at Seder, my beautiful blue and white Jerusalem tablecloth now looks a little schmutzig. Yes, for the non-Yiddish speakers, that means a little dirty. It's a little schmutzig. It's in rough shape. There are stains all over that tablecloth. And I love this tradition because that is exactly the point. Stains, whether intentional or not, tell stories. They remind us of where we've been, of who we've been, and hopefully how much we've grown since they worked their way into our fabric. And most importantly of all, they remind us that life, that real life, is messy. And it's supposed to be messy. And that the content of our character, the reflection of who we are, comes not from the presence of our stains, but how we respond to them once they're there. And within the edifices of Jewish theology and Jewish peoplehood, that response represents a foundational beam upon which so much of who we are is built. A beam that in the Hebrew is made up of two words, yosher and koach. Two words that are spiritually linked within the phrase yasher koach, a phrase that we often use to mean good job or well done. But if we literally translate those words, yasher koach, it translates as your strength is true. Yosher is honesty, truth, and truth with integrity. And koach is strength. But not just any strength, it is the strength to grow even when the yosher, even when the truth is unspeakably painful or difficult. The story of the Jewish people is the story of yosher and koach. It is with yosher that we recount our years of slavery in Mitzrayim and the land of Egypt. It is with yosher that we remember Korach's rebellion, Moshe's striking of the rock out of anger and frustration, and King David's myriad transgressions. It is with yosher that we remember our great temples falling, the first because of avodah zarah, because of idol worship, and the second because of sinat chinam, because of baseless hatred against one another, hating our own brothers and sisters without warrant. Yosher is our mandate to see the stains, to remember them. And, this is the hard part, to study them. To study them and to understand them with the same kavanah, with the same intentionality, rigor, and commitment that we give to the Ten Commandments, to Shirat Hayam, to the Song of the Sea, which we'll be reading next week, to the promise given to Avraham Avinu, to Abraham, our ancestor, that he should be blessed and that his descendants shall number the stars in the sky, It is our mandate to look at our stains with the same kavanah and the same intention as our blessings. Koach, in stark contrast, is, again, I'm sorry, there's a little bit more Yiddish here, is the new of it all. You can't really translate this word. We'll talk about it a little bit later, guys. But the new of it all. The necessary question that follows the Yosher, which asks, seeing what you've seen, remembering what you remember, and studying the stains of who we are new, what are you going to do about it? As a people, I think that we, if I do say so myself, do a pretty good job of embracing both the Yosher and the Koach. We Jews have a pretty stained history, but we also have a proud one. We've been presented with unthinkable challenges, and time again, we've met the moment and we've persevered. And rather than trying to blot out the stains that exist on our narrative fabric, we continue to learn from them, and we continue to respect them and acknowledge that they're there, part of who we are. And so what's the problem? Everything sounds pretty good, right? Sounds like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, so maybe we should just say good Shabbos and go make Kiddush, and that should be the end of it, right? But here's the thing. I think that we do this really well as Jews, as a people, as a community. But as individuals, as Yoni, as Mark, as Emma, we struggle a little bit. I didn't mean to pick on you two, I'm sorry. We have some work to do. And let me just say here right off the bat that this isn't criticism, and it's not meant to be judgmental in any way. And I'm putting myself in there because I think that all of us need to work on this. The simple truth is that we live in a world where a lot of people benefit off of us living solely in the stains of our individual tablecloths. Whether they be pundits or politicians, businesses, social media, so many entities rely on us seeing our faults, our blemishes, our shortcomings, and believing that they represent the entirety of who we are. And it is a provenly effective model of control. It works brilliantly. If I can keep you in your fear, in your anger, in your shame, in your embarrassment, then I can get you to buy a lot of things. I can get you to share a lot of articles and click a lot of links. And I can get you to believe some truly bonkers conspiracy theories and make you see your own family members, your friends, and your neighbors as your enemies. If I can make you live in your stains, then you will believe that you are powerless to them. It is something, Baruch Hashem, that as a people we've rarely, if ever, suffered. And by the people, I mean we as the Jewish people, because as a people, over and over again, within the Jewish communal family, we have supported ourselves. And we continue to support ourselves. We lift one another up, and we remind one another of our worth, our value, our contribution to this world, and to a future that flows with milk and honey because it will be built out of compassion, out of empathy, and out of justice. But individually, it's easy to forget that worth, to walk away from that support and that reinforcement, to be drawn by the siren's call that tell us that we are ignorant, or ugly, or overweight, or unsuccessful, or scared and lonely, but that one person, one entity, one business can make it all better. It's easy because it's an exploitation of legitimate fears. We are scared. We are lonely. We're people. We have stains. But what this idea lacks is the Yosher. This understanding of our stains does not come with truth. It doesn't come with growth or integrity, and it definitely doesn't come with koach, with strength. It comes with cynicism, and that cynicism is poison. Because both Yosher and Koach, by their definition, do not speak in the language of hate or derision or divisiveness. They speak in the language of empathy, of faith, of trust, of love, of unity, of coming together, of building something holy and building something special. Not with quick fixes and blanket promises or finger pointing, but with hope. And so all of this is to say that the people and the philosophies with whom we need to surround ourselves are not the ones who tell us they will remove our stains or who exploit them and make us live in them indefinitely, but rather are those who see our stains, who remember them and help us grow from them, and who keep on loving us, knowing that the stains have brought us to where we are and have made us who we are today. On Thursday morning, I joined an online moment of silence and reflection, remembering the insurrection and the violence that took place at the U.S. Capitol just 1 year ago. On Thursday evening, I moderated our monthly Rosh Chodesh group, where we celebrated the new month of Shabbat and all the beauty that this month holds. On Thursday morning, I remembered a stain that was caused by hate, by lies, and by exploitation. On Thursday evening, together, we acknowledged stains made by human imperfection. And then we validated those stains. We studied them. And then we talked about what we learned, about how we've grown, about what we hope, and what our dreams are for this month to come. This month of Shabbat, when our rabbis tell us that the sap in the trees starts to warm up and begins to move, when the buds prepare for spring and their new flowers and fruits, and when our souls are ripe for potential, for change, for Yosher, and for Koach. Thursday evening is what our lives should look like. Surrounded by open hearts that see who we are and help us press on, that hold us when we need to be held and push us forward when we need to be pushed, that remind us that while we are stained, we are also beautiful, stains and all. Now, I know Passover isn't for a few months, but I'm anticipating there being a lot of new stains on the tablecloth this year. It hasn't been an easy one. These last couple of years haven't been easy. But I'm also looking forward to knowing that each and every one of those stains will be met with understanding, with kindness, and with Yosher. And then I'm looking forward to see what comes next, because I know I'll be supported. And I know everyone around that table will be too. That we can keep growing, that we can learn, that we can remember, and that we can push. That we can look each other in the eyes and say, "New? It's time to get up. It's time to push forward. It's time to dream." But I also don't want us to wait until then. So let me just say this for anyone who needs to hear it this morning, this important truth, this Yosher. You aren't perfect. You aren't. You've made mistakes. You have stains. They're part of you. But you are invaluable to this world. You are beautiful. You make this world brighter, kinder, and better. And I am so incredibly glad and so incredibly blessed that you are you. That's the Yosher. Now here's the Koach. New? Let's go forward. Let's learn. Let's grow. And let's make our strength be true. We'll turn to page 154.